This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. Nowadays, when you go to the doctor, typically you've got about, I think the average is about 11 minutes with the doctor. That includes the hi and goodbye. He's got to hear your story, hear what's going on. A lot of times he'll prescribe some medication to take care of the symptoms, and that's about it. Not really, in many opinions, the way it should be. And we're going to look at a different way that could go with somebody who's a functional medicine health coach. Very radically different. Many times they get to the root cause of the situation of what's ever ailing you. And it's kind of the way it was back in the day before modern medicine, if you will, kind of took over. Let's dig into that. She joins us from Canada. So great to have Sarah Karim join us on the program. How are you doing today?
Hi, thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Good to have you here. I'm in New York. We just got a legit blizzard, historic amount of snow. Not even kidding. There's a 5 to 6 foot drift in front of my door. You're in Canada. You deal with this all the time, right?
So I wouldn't say all the time, but more often than not, yes. So it's not, we're not a stranger to snow drifts very, very, very high. So wishing you all the best.
If this was happening down in, let's say, Georgia, South Carolina, they would be paralyzed for weeks. We're going to be good. No, 2 days with this and we'll be moving around. It's all good. So let's talk about functional medicine. Let's go basic here. How do you define functional medicine?
Oh, yeah, great question. So functional medicine is medicine that basically gets to the root of the condition, the disease, however you would like to call it, I guess. So it's something that kind of gets down and deep into what is actually causing your issue, your concern, your condition. And so it gets to that root of the problem.
Who would be somebody to call upon a functional medicine health coach? What would they be going through? Who might they be?
So that's a great question. So it could be anyone that is dealing with autoimmune conditions. It could be anyone that's dealing with, say, for example, diabetes. So for anyone like that, and basically anyone really could reach out to a functional medicine health coach or functional medicine practitioner if they wanted to talk to someone like that and kind of get in touch with them. And like I said, they get to the root of your condition or your disease.
So I wasn't being facetious about the 11-minute average visit with a doctor. It's kind of how it is. And I know it's in the United States. I hear the same thing for Canada. There's so much going on there. Insurance, they've got to get to a certain number of patients within a day. So if you divide up, 1 hour, it's pretty tight for them. Take us through the journey when somebody works with somebody like yourself. I got to believe there's an intake, there's listening. I really want to get a better grip on what's that's like.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So when somebody kind of books an appointment with a functional medicine health coach or functional medicine practitioner, I think what they would do first is, like you said, intake. And then basically they try and get to know you, the person, the individual. And then usually they get into a history of how things were in your past. How were you raised? Were you breastfed? Were you so like I said, they kind of basically get into the root of you as an individual. And I think from there, then they kind of try and build this I guess build I guess for lack of better word, like build kind of how you got this condition. Like what were the things that compounded to make the condition what it is today and make you have this condition.
You go deep. I mean, right down to whether somebody was breastfed or not. What are some of the other things? I find that fascinating. Even there, what could that reveal about somebody? And I go, everybody's different, everybody's situation is different, but kind of curious.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then, so not only that, like then you get into things like how do you eat? What's your diet? What's your nutrition plan? What's your exercise plan? How much water do you drink a day? So like you're talking about all of those kind of things that all build your profile, I guess, again, for lack of better words. So basically, they need to get down, it's like to the nitty gritty and finding out, what is it that is basically causing you to have this issue or this concern or this disease. And so that's kind of how they build that. I guess they build that profile on you, and then from there they get to, okay, what can we do about it? So then they decide, okay, what kind of actions are needed. So do we need to have some supplements? Do we need to change your diet? Do we need to get you to sleep more often? Do we, yeah, so it's a really interesting journey. Help functional medicine is just an amazing kind of journey to take.
Knowing a storm and a blizzard was coming, pizza and ice cream last night. And kind of regretting it today, but just saying. Um, is this the way medicine was many years ago?
That's a great question. I personally think yes, because like all those questions that a functional medicine practitioner would ask the client, all of those things, they need to get to know the person. And I feel like that's exactly like how medicine was back in the day, because you
Yeah.
do need to get to know the person. And it's not just that, like you said, 11 minutes in a quick office. And back in the day, maybe they actually spent that half an hour, and maybe they actually knew the individual. And so I think for sure it was like that back in the day.
I mean, even many, many decades ago, and it's starting to come back, and they call it concierge medicine now. But
Yeah,
way back then, the doctor made house calls. He actually came to the house with his medical bag and
yeah,
talk about taking the time to spend with you. So it does seem that, this is a little bit more of going back in terms of the doctor taking time, or the practitioner taking time to learn about somebody. And you bring up a great point, Sarah, in terms of hydration. That is responsible for so much within our bodies. Many of us have challenges. We don't feel well, sometimes foggy, mentally just off. It could be hydration, but we don't even realize it. And the doctor, the typical doctor is not going to really ask those questions so much. They're just going to find out what the challenge is and then give you a med for it. That gets us into a whole other category, probably five podcasts in terms of big pharma, but we'll put that to the side. Um, for you, tell us about your journey. How did you get into functional medicine and wanting to help people feel better?
yeah, that's a wonderful question. Thank you so much for asking it. So I don't know if you want to say fortunately or unfortunately, I myself was diagnosed with MS in 2003. And so it's been quite the journey for me. And so I went through all the stages. When you're diagnosed with a condition, you go through all the stages of grief, right? You go through the anger, you go
Mm.
through the, I don't know all the stages, but you go through the acceptance, and go through all, like, the roller coaster of emotions. And so I went through all of that. And then I basically decided that, so while healing myself, I decided, okay, well, what a better way to use my journey than to help other individuals who have the same condition or have any other autoimmune condition, and help them kind of on their journey of healing. And that's kind of how I got here.
So deeper question, and I totally can understand, the anger when you got that diagnosis, the frustration, saying, "Why me? Why am I dealing with this?" What was the point? How did you refocus it so that you got out of that mindset, which is perfectly normal? Um, and when, or do you remember that moment where it's like, okay, you know, I'm good now. I'm gonna be the best I can be with this challenge that is bestowed upon me. Um, do you remember when that was, and maybe advice for others that may get a diagnosis like that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It took me about a year of that anger. And so after that year, I decided that there was a lot of um, negativity in me. And I just decided, you know what? This is not how to live life. And this is not what I wanted for myself.
Hmm.
So I decided that I'm never going to go back to this negative anger and just arena that I was in that is just very not healthy. And so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to move on. And so from there, that's when I was like, okay, I have to take action. And so that's when I kind of started on my healing journey, and I started doing physiotherapy, and it was great. And then from there, you kind of get onto different programs, get onto the supplements, get onto, like the Eastern healing. So you do meditation, you
Hmm.
do like, I don't know, like, it's not very, it's kind of new. It's called natural way of living. And they kind of do things like Reiki Tumo, secrets of natural walking. And so all of these kind of different arenas where it's not, again, it's not really 100% familiar in modern medicine, but these are things that are helping people heal today. And so it's great. Like it's all a different type of healing.
I believe I finally, after years, got to the point with meditation
Yeah.
to find the benefits of it. And I don't remember when that happened, a few years ago, but I find it so beneficial. I even during the day look forward to, like, yeah, later I'm just going to zone out. And now I'm at the point where I could stare at a thumbtack on a wall and just be out of
Yeah.
here in a great place, just, being able to think, clarity, relaxation. Um, Tell me about meditation and your journey with that.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So my journey with that was, again, it took me a bit to get to that place where, I started using these different types of healing methods like meditation and Reiki. And um, so I've been a Muslim for quite some time. And so I didn't actually use like these tools until I got to this point where I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of this anger that's in my body,
Hmm.
and it's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for anyone else. I was taking it out on everyone else. So yeah, you get, like you said, like you get to that point where it takes you a while to get to your journey, and for everybody it'll be different. And yeah, it's not, meditation is not easy. It's something that's actually quite difficult to just sit down and zone out and not think about anything. And like you said, think about that thumbtack. You know what I mean? And so meditation is not at all easy, but it is quite beneficial.
Hmm. To the point where I forward to it, even in the evening. A lot of times after a day, it's like, you know what? I need it now. It's give to me time. And I might even just listen to music. I get kind of bored with TV, so I kind of change it up. And that could be my meditation. But I think maybe we overthink it sometimes. We see things on TV and movies where somebody's in a position, their legs are folded, and, they're meditating. No, you go for a walk and you could be transported. I like to call it that. Just, transport out of your head, I guess it might be. Um, a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being vitally important, in your life with functional medicine and just in general, where would you put meditation? Just curious.
Oh, what a great question. Yeah, I would say at about an 8. Like I
Gotcha.
think, yeah, like, and when you take all the facets of meditation, like you think about your breathing, you think about your mindset, you think about
Yep.
just close your eyes. So all of those things kind of come together and they create this massive thing called meditation. And everyone's like, oh, wow, do you meditate? And so, yeah, like it's a wonderful thing. And if you can get there and if you can take the 2 or 3 minutes a day and it relaxes the body and you get your deep breathing in, like it's just a wonderful healing for you yourself.
Sure. And again, it's different for everybody. What we're describing, somebody else may be doing something different, and whatever makes you feel good, whatever supports you. So, how does
Yeah.
it work with you, Sarah? Somebody has gotten to the point where maybe they're saying Western medicine, not for me. I see what's going on here. I want a practitioner to spend time, not just throw me some pills to take care of the symptoms. And again, there's a place, emergency medicine, all of that. There's definitely a place for that. But if somebody wants to go a little bit deeper and really get to the root cause of what might be challenging them, how does it work with you?
Um, so for me specifically, somebody would have to contact me, get in touch with me via email and say, you know what, this is my situation and I'm in search of a functional medicine health coach. And so from there, I would sit down with them and we would, like I said, go through your journey, go through your past. And if we need to kind of get down to the nitty gritty and talk about the breastfeeding, talk about the diet, talk about the nutrition. And then from there, that's where we kind of build your case and you build your profile. And then you decide, okay, what are you looking for? Like, how do you want to heal? Is that something that you want to use supplements? Do you want to use diet and nutrition, diet and exercise? Like, I think everyone is different. And so you have to kind of talk to the individual and ask them exactly what they want and ask them, what is it and how is it that you would like to heal yourself? And so when you're on a healing journey, I think it's something very personal. And so you have to decide that yes, I want to heal and yes, I want to better myself. And then you have to just decide, how do you want to do that? And so that's kind of where I would come in, saying, okay, let me help you get to, I kind of fill that gap. Like you find people from where they are and you help them get to where they want to be.
It's often been said that your childhood kind of dictates a lot about your later years as an adult. Is that also something you get into, a little bit more detail? I mean, we're talking about breastfeeding, so I guess maybe, it does come up like, what was life like when you were a kid? What about your parents? Do you go, in that territory too, just to kind of put the whole picture together?
Um, yeah, so that's kind of where things get a little bit wishy-washy. And so you can't kind of because there's different types of medicine or different types of practitioners that do that. Like, so for example, like a psychiatrist or, those kind of things would get into maybe, for example, if you had a lot of trauma when you were younger
Mhm.
and you had abusive parents and things like that. So that's something that's not really in my realm of a functional medicine health coach, but definitely I would help them and give them some ideas of who they could go to and maybe like a different practitioner that they could use to kind of help them on their healing journey.
So you personally, all of this is on your radar now that you are a functional medicine health coach. What was the last health change you made, whether it was diet, lifestyle, whatever it might be? What's the last one that you recall making, where you said, "Yeah, I have time for a change here"?
Oh yeah, great question. Um, and so this also has to do with the fact that, when I was diagnosed with MS. MS is a journey where you have a lot of inflammation in your body. And so I decided, okay, I have to reduce this inflammation because I'm not feeling well at all. And so I decided to tackle my nutrition. And so I went gluten and dairy free, and I've been gluten and dairy free now for about 9 years.
Wow.
And yeah, and it's a commitment, but like I mean, it's you have to also remember that you're doing this for yourself. And so yes, it's a commitment. Do I miss bread? Sure. But you use substitutions, and so being brown, I eat a lot of rice, so I'm okay with not eating the bread, and so I don't miss dairy that much. I wasn't really ever like a cheese fan, and so yeah, like you just make those changes, and you see how you feel, and then if you like how you feel, then you kind of keep that change. And if you don't like it, then you kind of, like I said, find substitutions and find other ways to kind of find to help you on your healing journey.
I didn't have it last night because I was with reckless abandon before the storm. But with the pizza, I've had cauliflower crust pizza before. Fantastic.
Exactly. So
So
many
good.
things. Yes.
You
Yeah.
know what's interesting? Right before we got on here, I saw a social post, and it was about Matt Damon and the one change he made to lose 30 pounds for a movie role recently, and the change was eating gluten free.
Yeah. Oh, you have no idea. Like when I went gluten and dairy free, um, I wasn't aiming to lose weight at all. That was never the thought in my mind. But because I was doing this for myself and doing it for my healing journey, I dropped 12 pounds. And you don't even realize that that's like a side effect, and it's a great side effect that
Right?
you realize that that's going to help you on your journey. And yeah, like it's an amazing I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, and of course you're going to miss bread and gluten and dairy and all this stuff, but once you get to the place like 9 years later, I don't miss it at all. And like I said, you find other things. And I don't drink normal milk, but I drink coconut milk, and I drink, you know what I mean, like it's not the be all and end all to
Sure.
be dairy free. Like
It's
it's
a
not.
habit. I think everything is a habit. Once things that we're stuck on, we're just used to doing it. Personally, the dairy, I'm not sure yet because I like, higher hits of protein. A lot of protein comes from that. On the gluten side of things, it's empty carbs. Going to say it. There you go. Like it's kind of a waste, and it may be wreaking havoc with your stomach, your digestion. You might not even know it. It's like I feel a little bloated today. I don't know what that is, man. Just one of those days. Well, maybe it's what you ate. Maybe it was that pizza. Never affected you before. Now it does. We all change. Wow, learning so much from you. I got, what I get here from those changes, it's just a little bit of work. Everything is work. You got to put a little work into it to get a benefit. So now maybe you have to be mindful of substitutes for gluten or just cut it out or cut it way back. But this is where it all happens with a functional medicine health coach. Sarah, how do we find you? You said an email address. Is that the best way?
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way right now. I don't right now have a website set up, so getting in contact with me via email is the best way for anybody out there who would like to get in touch. My email address is karimsara@hotmail.com. And yeah, like I think everyone at your offices knows my email address. And so it's just KarimSarah@hotmail.com. So yeah, get in touch. And if you're struggling with a condition or an autoimmune condition
Hmm.
and you'd like to talk about it, hey, let's talk. Like I offer a free consultation. And yeah, like I think that's a great way to start your journey.
And you can work with people virtually anywhere, anytime.
Yes, exactly. And that's the beautiful thing about today's life and today's world is that you can work with anybody anywhere.
like we are right now. And if there was anything good that came from COVID, probably this would be it.
Yeah.
you know. So once again, Karim, that's Karim, then your first name, Sarah, Sarah at hotmail.com. Thank
That's,
you so much for being here. Thanks for your transparency and sharing your journey and how it's made a difference in your life and how you're helping others. I appreciate you being here today.
oh, thank you so much, Steve, for taking the time to talk with me. I really appreciate you as well.
Likewise. All right. We will be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.